Can you use force or even deadly force to defend your property in Texas? Texas law allows a person to protect their property using force. Notice I haven't said deadly force yet. What Texas law recognizes under any circumstance where an individual has a greater right of possession or ownership than another person is that you can use force to protect your property and regain control of your property. So if you have a trespasser on your property, you can use a reasonable amount of force to get that trespasser off of your property. There's not a definition for what's reasonable, and it's always in the eye of the finder of fact. That could be a future jury, it could be a future judge. But understand that Texas allows you to use non-deadly force to protect your property or regain possession of your property. So when can you use deadly force to protect your property? There are only certain circumstances under which a person can use deadly force to defend their property. You can use deadly force to protect your property at any time, daytime or nighttime, for the following three offenses: arson, burglary, and robbery. That includes aggravated robbery. Notice I'm only talking about property crimes. In a separate video, we talk about offenses against people that you can use deadly force to protect against. This is a conversation about using deadly force to protect property. So again, those offenses are arson, burglary, and robbery. In Texas, at night, there are two additional offenses for which you can use deadly force to protect against. That is theft at night or criminal mischief at night. Understand that even when you have reason to believe that one of these offenses is taking place, you can only use deadly force to protect your property when and to the degree you reasonably believe that deadly force is immediately necessary. So there are a number of elements to what I just said. First of all, it has to be a reasonable belief. A reasonable belief is one that an ordinary prudent person would hold under the same circumstances. In other words, if they knew and saw the same things you were seeing, would an ordinary prudent person believe that deadly force was immediately necessary? That's how you answer the question of whether or not it was reasonable. A lot of people think that simply putting up no trespass signs or using purple paint to demark the area as a place where trespassers are not welcome is sufficient to then respond using deadly force. And that's not true. It has to be arson, burglary, robbery, theft at night, or criminal mischief at night for you to be able to use deadly force to protect just property. Texas law allows you to use deadly force under those circumstances to prevent the offense, but also to prevent a person from fleeing immediately after the offense. Finally, if you use deadly force to protect your property, you have to be able to show that the property could not be protected or recovered by other means. Other means here means other non-deadly methods. Alternatively, you need to be able to show that if you had used non-deadly force to protect the property, that would have exposed you to a substantial risk of serious bodily injury or death. So remember, if you're using deadly force to protect property, then there are some additional showings that would have to be made for the use of deadly force to be legally justified. In Texas, you're generally not going to run afoul of the defense of property rules as long as what you did was for one of the 5 offenses I mentioned, and what you did would be deemed reasonable by a finder of fact, that is, a judge or a jury later evaluating that case. We have successfully defended individuals who had to use deadly force to protect their property. If you're in North Texas and find yourself being prosecuted after you used deadly force to protect your property, give us a call. Our number is 817-203-2220. You can find out more at versestexas.com.